Hello students, welcome to JCE Connect, subject Engineering Geology, 18 CV 36. So today we will discuss the internal structure of the earth. So before starting with the internal structure, let us understand what is earth. So our earth is a cosmic body, right? It is one of the 9 members of the solar system, right? Of which the sun is the central star. So around the sun these 9 planets are revolving, and these 9 planets are held around the sun under the gravitational force. So these 9 planets, they are in order of increasing distance from the sun, right? The nearest to the sun is the Mercury, then Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. So these are the 9 planets, and last one is Pluto. So these are the 9 planets in the solar system. So if you want to know Earth, right? Earth is the third in position from sun, right? So the distance of the earth from the sun is 1 AU, that is astronomical unit. So all these planets, they are not same, right? They differ in their size, they differ in the density and the composition, and even they differ in the rate of rotation of the planet, right? So all these planets, they revolve around the sun in a regular, stable and circular orbits, which are in the same plane. Okay, so on the basis of their location, these all 9 planets, they are divided into 2 groups. One is inner planets, they are also called as terrestrial planets, and one more is outer planets. So inner planets are what? Those which are very near to the sun, that is Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. The first 4 planets, they are called as inner planets or terrestrial planets. So they are characterized with a very relatively small masses compared to the outer planets. They are smaller in size, but their density is high, and they rotate slowly. So they have a slow rotation rate, and they have the less number of satellites. So this is all about the inner planets. On the other hand, the outer planets, which includes the Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune and Pluto. So they are characterized with very large masses. They are large in size, okay, but they have low density, right? And they have faster rotation, and they have high number of satellites. So the satellite of the earth is moon, right? We have only one satellite. So like the outer planets, they have more number of satellites, and the average density of the earth is 5.5 into 10 raised to 3 kg raised to minus 3. That is the density of the earth, okay. And equatorial radius of the earth is around 6378 kilometers, and the polar radius is 6357 kilometer. So this is all regarding the earth. And if you take size into account, the earth is 5th in size. Now if we want to know what is there inside the earth, right? One more point regarding inner and outer planet is why the inner planets are heavier. Why they are called as inner planets? Because they are heavier, they are very near to the sun, okay, and because they are lighter, they have thrown at a far distance, right? So they are outer planets. So if you want to study what is there inside the earth, okay, or internal structure of the earth, how we are going to study it? It is not possible to take a cross section of the earth. It is nowhere on the earth you cannot take a cross section, you can cut the earth and study. Then how it is possible? So with the present scientific skill also, we can hardly penetrate up to 5 to 10 kilometer below the earth. Okay, but beyond that we cannot go, right? So therefore the understanding the internal structure of the earth is based on indirect methods. So what are those indirect methods? We will see. So here in the figure you can see the internal structure of the earth, that is, earth is divided into mainly three parts. Okay, the crust, mantle and the core. So this is the the earth is divided into three parts: crust, mantle and core. So in detail we will discuss it, right? So this is the internal structure of the earth, or you can call it as interior of the earth, right? So it is divided into three parts. The topmost you can see, that is the crust. Okay, topmost is the crust, and then there is a mantle. From below the crust there is a mantle, okay, and the core. So it is again further divided into different parts, like here the crust is divided into upper crust and lower crust. Then mantle is divided into upper mantle and lower mantle, and core is divided into outer core and inner core. So this is the internal structure of the earth. So here the crust is divided into oceanic crust, continental crust, right? And there is a layer called lithosphere. Then there is a upper mantle, lower mantle, outer core and inner core. So this is the internal structure of the earth. So let us see how we came to know that the earth has different parts, or earth is divided into different structures. So different layers. So this is possible with the help of seismic investigation, right? So seismic, the word seismic stands for, or seismos in Greek, it means the earthquake. So whenever there is an earthquake, different types of waves are generated. So the seismological studies, they deal with the elastic waves, or they are also called as seismic waves, which are generated within the earth during an earthquake or any explosion. And these waves, they travel in all directions from the focus of the earthquake. Suppose this is the point below the earth where the earthquake has triggered. So this point where earthquake has started, that is called as the focus of the earthquake, and the point exactly above on the surface, exactly above the focus on the surface, is called as the epicenter of that earthquake. So when there is an earthquake, this is maybe because of the faulting. Okay, whenever there is a fault, there is a earthquake. So when earthquake happens, okay, so different waves are generated. Those waves are called as what? Elastic waves. Okay, elastic waves. Okay, and they are of two types. Okay, one is body waves and other one is surface waves. Okay, these elastic waves are of two types. One is body waves and other one is surface waves. So the body waves, they are of again two types, the P waves and the S waves. The body waves are of two types, P waves, they are also called as primary waves, okay, and the S waves, they are called as surface waves. And P waves and S waves. S waves are secondary waves, not surface waves. They are secondary waves, or they are also called as transverse waves. Okay. Then the surface waves are of two types. Okay, again there are two types in surface waves also. There, that is L waves or love waves and relay waves. Okay, love wave and relay wave, they are the two types of surface waves. Now why they are called as body waves and surface waves is, whenever there is an earthquake, what happens, these body waves, they try to move inside the body of the earth, so they are called as body waves. And these surface wave, what happened, they travel towards the surface of the earth, so they are called as surface waves. So here what we need to understand is, during an earthquake, different seismic waves are generated. They are also called as elastic waves. They are of two types, body waves and surface waves, right? Body waves are again two types, primary waves and secondary waves, that is P and S waves. And surface waves are of two types, that is love wave and relay wave. Now let us understand. So if we want to know the internal structure of the earth, we must concentrate on these two waves, that is the P waves and the S waves, because they travel deep inside the earth, right? So we need to understand these waves first. Okay, so surface waves and body waves. So body waves are of two types, P waves and S waves. Now let us understand what is the character of this P wave, okay, and S waves. P waves and S waves. So P waves, they travel through all the states of matter, that is, it will travel through all the three states of matter, that is solid, liquid and even gases. Okay, and the S waves, they travel only through solids. The S waves travel only through solids. Okay, so they are called as body waves. Okay, so these body waves, the P waves and S waves, okay, we need to understand the character of that waves. So surface waves, they spread in all direction from the focus. Only P and S wave, they travel deep in the earth, and they are helpful for us to understand the internal structure of the earth. So P waves travel in both solid, liquid and as well as the gaseous medium, and they are characterized by great velocity, whereas the S waves, they travel only in solids. So that we need to remember. So the velocity of these elastic waves, it again differ in different types of rocks, right? And it depends upon the elastic property of the rock and even the density of the rocks. So from the travel time means the time which is taken by a wave to travel from epicenter to the different receiving stations, that is called as the travel time. Okay, so when you plot this travel time, okay, of the P and S waves, it is possible to calculate the velocity of any wave at any depth. Okay, at the velocity of any wave at any depth can be calculated if we know the travel time taken by the wave to travel from the center, that is origin, to the surface, okay, to the receiving stations. So these P and S wave, when they are analyzed, they give the velocity depth curve, which you can see here, this diagram. Okay, in this diagram we can see the velocities are given at the top. okay, that is in kilometer per second, okay, 0 to 10, 5, 10, 15 like that. And at the bottom you can see 0, 1000, 2000, 3000, that is what? The depth, okay, depth inside the earth. So this graph is called as the velocity depth curve. Okay, so if we study this, if we understand this, we can come to know what is there inside the earth. So this diagram is called as velocity depth curve, from which we will get a generalized picture of the structure of the earth. Okay, so the interpretation of this internal structure is based on the deflections and the changes, abrupt changes in the velocities of these P and S wave. You can see here the P and S waves, they are not same throughout. Okay, so the structure, okay, the internal structure we will understand based on the deflections of abrupt changes in the velocities of P and S waves. So during their travel from the focus, that is where the earthquake starts, to the various receiving stations on the earth. So this change in the seismic velocity of any seismic wave, that is called as seismic discontinuity. So here in the figure you can see the change in the seismic velocity here, right, and at the top, okay, you can see the change in the velocity here on the top, you can see, and as well as here. Okay, so there are plus here the velocity is changing. So these changes, what they tell us is there are some discontinuities. So what is that discontinuity? So with the study of these discontinuities within the earth, there are two major discontinuities were observed. Okay, one, the first discontinuity was observed at the top here, where the crust and mantle is getting separated here at this point at the top. Okay, so this discontinuity, you can see here both the waves, so here this is S wave and this is P wave. So you can see here S wave is stopping here. Okay, it will not continue. This is wrong. Okay, so it is up to here, only up to here it will travel, but the P wave, you can see it will travel up to the bottom. Okay, now we'll see what are the discontinuities which are occurring in the earth's crust. This question is very important from exam point of view. You will get a fixed question on this, that is write a note on internal structure of the earth, or write a different parts of the earth, or the interior of the earth. Okay, and you may expect a small question on the different discontinuities in the interior of the earth. So there are two major discontinuities I told you, right? The first is discontinuity is the crust mantle discontinuity, that is also called as Mohorovičić discontinuity. So the first discontinuity is what? Mohorovičić discontinuity. Okay, it is also called as crust mantle discontinuity, because it divides the crust and mantle. Then there is one more discontinuity called Gutenberg discontinuity. Okay, Gutenberg, it is also called as mantle core discontinuity. Okay, mantle core, and here it is crust mantle. So these are the two discontinuities in the interior of the earth. So here first we'll let us understand where is the Morovicic discontinuity. So here you can see now, right, there is a variation in both the S wave and P wave, right? So what this variation or discontinuity in the wave indicate is, it is the first major discontinuity which is detected in the seismic record, and this is named after its discoverer, that is the Morovicic, who discovered this discontinuity. So the name of his is given here, that is Morovicic discontinuity. So this discontinuity, it occurs at about 30 to 35 kilometer below the continents and 5 to 6 kilometers below the ocean. So here you can see the thickness of this varies, right? Thickness of the crust is different, right? Here below the ocean it is very small, but below the continents you can see, below the hills it is very much high, right? So the occurrence of this discontinuity, that is separating mantle and crust, that also differs. So how much it is? 30 to 35 kilometer below the continents, that is here, and it is hardly 5 to 6 kilometers below the oceans. Okay, below the oceans it is 5 to 6 kilometers, and here below the continents it is 30 to 35 kilometers, okay, below the continents. So it is observed that both the P wave and the S wave, on reaching this depth, they undergo sharp increase in the velocity, right? Here you can see in this figure, after reaching this 5 to 10 kilometer distance, or 5 to 6 kilometers distance, and below the continent 30 to 35 kilometer distance, when it reaches, it will show variation in the velocity. The velocity will increase. So you can see there is a increase in the velocity of both the waves, okay? So that shows the first disconformity, that is called as crust mantle discontinuity, okay? Then the second discontinuity is observed here, right, at this point. So second discontinuity is observed here, okay? That is what? The mantle and core are getting separated. So what is that called as? Mantle core discontinuity, or it is also called as Gutenberg discontinuity, okay? So some of these seismic waves, okay, that crosses the Morovicic discontinuity, and they continue to travel downward, okay, towards the center of the earth with the uniform increase in the velocity, right? Then what happens? The discontinuity occurs around, what is the distance here? You can see it is around above 3000. So it is almost 2900 kilometers. So at 2900 kilometers there is a discontinuity, there is a change in the velocity. Earlier both the waves were traveling in this direction, but suddenly after reaching this 2900 kilometer, both the waves, they show a change in the velocity, right? So at this depth, that is at 2900 kilometer, there is a discontinuity, that is called as Gutenberg discontinuity. So at this depth, what happens? The P wave again continue to travel downward, but here S wave, it is stopping here, okay? As I told you, this is yes. So here at the P wave and S wave, right, they both show the variation in the velocity, right? So what happens here? The P wave again continue to travel downward, but the S wave, it is stopping here at this depth, that is at 2900 kilometer. It is stopping, it is not going further downward. So what it shows, what is the property of S wave? I had told you, the P waves and S waves, the P wave can travel through all the states, but that is both solid and liquid, but S waves, they travel only through solids. That shows what? This core, the outer core, that is liquid or semi liquid, and because of that the S wave is not traveling further, it is stopping at 2900 kilometer distance. So this is the second discontinuity that is observed in the interior of the earth, that is Gutenberg discontinuity, that is at 2900 kilometers. So the two major discontinuities are Morovicic discontinuity and Gutenberg discontinuity, which separates the crust mantle and mantle core. Now there are two minor discontinuities also you can observe, that is that is here. You can see the crust, okay, crust and mantle is separated. Again in mantle you will find two, that is upper mantle and the lower mantle. So upper mantle and lower mantle, there is again the variation in the velocity. So the discontinuity which is between the upper mantle and the lower mantle, that is this portion, okay, that is called as Rapiti discontinuity. So what is Rapiti discontinuity? That is the discontinuity which separates the upper mantle and lower mantle, that is called as the Rapiti discontinuity. The discontinuity which separates upper mantle and lower mantle. Similarly, there is one more discontinuity which is separating the core, right? The outer core and inner core, okay? So these are separated by a discontinuity that is called as Lehman Okay, so these are all the names of the people who discovered them. Okay, so this discontinuity, that is the discontinuity which separates the outer core and inner core, is called as Lehman discontinuity. So these are the major discontinuities. Then even the crust is also divided, right, into two, the upper and lower crust. Okay, that is so this discontinuity which separates the crust into upper and lower crust, that is called as Conard discontinuity. Conard discontinuity. Okay. So the discontinuity which separates the crust, upper crust and lower crust, is called as Conard discontinuity. Okay, so this is an important question, right? Write a note on discontinuities occurring in the interior of the earth. Okay, so there are major two discontinuities, Morovicic and Gutenberg discontinuity, and the three minor, that is Conard, Rapiti and Lehman discontinuity. Okay, now we'll move on to the next, that is what is there inside the earth. Okay, so you can see here in this diagram the waves, they reach up to the center of the earth. Okay, so center of the earth is above 6000. You can see here the 6000 is here, right? So these waves, they travel deeper into the earth. Okay, and the center of the earth is 6370 kilometers. So 66,370 kilometer, that is the center of the earth. Okay, so we got to know this with the help of seismological studies, and it is noted that the earth is divided into three structural divisions, namely crust, mantle and core, and each of these layer has its own properties. So we'll discuss one by one the each layer, right? So first layer is the crust, that is the topmost layer or the uppermost shell of the earth, you can call. Okay, it is the uppermost shell of the earth, and the Morovicic discontinuity marks its lower boundary. Okay, because where is the Morovicic discontinuity? It is here. Okay, which divides the crust and the mantle. Okay, so the lower boundary of this is marked by the Morovicic discontinuity. So this comprises again both the continents, that is this one, that is the landmass, and also the ocean. So the crust comprises both the continents and the ocean basins. So the crust has a variable thickness. You can see in the figure the thickness is not same throughout, right? Here the thickness of the crust is different and here it is different. So what is that thickness? So the thickness of the earth, the crust is between 35 to 70 kilometers. Okay, that is the thickness below the continents. So below the continents, on an average, what is the thickness? It is 35 to 70 kilometers. So outermost layer of 35 to 70 kilometer thick, and thinnest layer, that is below the ocean, that is hardly 5 to 10 kilometers. Okay, so what is the thickness of the crust is? It is 35 to 70 kilometers. Okay, that is 70 kilometers below the continents, and below the ocean it is hardly 5 to 10 kilometers. Okay, that is the thickness of the crust, and average thickness of the crust is 35 kilometer. That is the average thickness of the crust. Okay, so this is about the thickness. Now let us discuss about the composition of the crust. So crust is mainly composed of aluminosilicates. Okay, the crust, the composition of the crust is aluminosilicates. So it is mainly composed of aluminium and silicates. So the study of seismological observations within the crustal layer indicate two layers, right? So we have seen the two layers, that is upper and lower crust. The crust is divided into two, that is upper and lower crust. Okay, so upper crust, that is this one. Okay, and the lower crust is this one. Okay, so upper and lower crust, or the lower layer, that is of basaltic. Okay, you can see this is of basalt. Okay, the upper layer of the continental crust, okay, the is granitic. The upper layer is granitic. means it is made up of a rock called granite, okay, and this lower crust is made up of basalt. So upper crust we'll discuss first, right? Here it is written, the continental crust with granite rock is with the average of 30 kilometer, that is the thickness, right? Average thickness is 30 kilometer, right? And this layer is discontinuous. You can see the granitic layer is discontinuous, means it is not present here below the oceans, okay, it is there only below the continents, okay. So this layer, that is the upper crust, is discontinuous. This is very, very important. Whereas it is discontinuous, and it is also called as Sial. What is that Sial? It is made up of alumina and silica. So it is made up of mostly light density and light colored minerals, okay, that is light colored minerals or light density minerals, light colored minerals, that is silicates of potassium and aluminium. So it is also called as Sial, that is silica and alumina. So the volume of this layer is around 5.8 into 10 raised to 9 kilometer cube. So that is the volume of the upper crust, and it is called as Sial because it is made up of light colored, light density silicates of K is potassium and aluminium, okay. So it is called as Sial, okay. Then if you see the lower layer, that is oceanic crust, okay. Oceanic crust is with basaltic rock, okay, that is lower layer is basaltic, and it is 5 to 10 kilometers thickness, and it is continuous. You can see here it is continuous, it is present below the continents also and below the oceans also. So the thickness, okay, the thickness of this lower layer, it varies, okay, and this is the most important point here is it is continuous, that is it is present below the oceans also and below the continents also, and it is mainly made up of basaltic rocks, so it is called as basaltic layer, okay, and it is called as Sima, okay. Sima is silica and magnesium, okay, silica and magnesium, so it is called as Sima. So it is made up of predominantly basic minerals which are rich in magnesium, that is Ma, okay, and the silica, okay, silicates and magnesium, and therefore it is also called as Sima, that is silica and magnesium. So the volume of this layer is 5.8 into 10 raised to 9 kilometer, okay. Then it is solid, okay, the crust is solid, okay, the both continental crust and the oceanic crust, it is solid, and the main elements are oxygen, silica, then magnesium, iron and calcium. So that is the composition, overall composition of the earth's crust. So this is the crust, okay. Then the important points here are the crust, the thickness, right, the thickness of the crust, that is around 35 to 70 kilometers, and average thickness is 35 kilometer, okay, and this comprises only 1% of the total mass, okay. Here one point we skipped, that is this 1%, it is less than 1% of the total earth's mass, okay. The crust is hardly 1%, less than 1% of the Earth's total mass. Okay, Earth's total mass. Out of that, suppose the total mass of the Earth is 100, then crust is hardly less than 1%. Okay, then it is divided into two, upper and lower layer. Okay, upper layer is called as granitic, or it is also called as sial, and lower layer is basaltic, and it is called as cyma. Okay, and the composition you have to remember, it is silica and aluminium and silica and magnesium. So this is all about the crust. Then next layer, that is mantle. You can see here, this is the mantle. It is divided into two again. Okay, the upper mantle and the lower mantle. Okay, upper mantle and lower mantle. So what is happening here? All the tectonic activities take place in this mantle, right? There are subduction zone. Okay, the crust is going down into the other, that is called as subduction. Here it is splitting. Okay, that is called as divergent, and here it is convergent. The two plates are colliding. Okay, so these all are different plate movements which are happening because of this mantle. Okay, why, what happens here in the mantle is, so in the mantle, okay, the mantle is the second concentric shell of the Earth. Okay, that lies below the crust, right? So this zone continues up to 2900 kilometers. So the distance is 2900 kilometer. You can see here, the mantle, it is from crust to up to 2900 kilometer. Here is the 3000 point, so the crust is up to this point, so that is 2900 kilometers. So this mantle, it is separated into two again, upper mantle and lower mantle. So the boundary between these two is about 700 kilometers. So boundary between upper mantle and lower mantle is between 700 kilometer depth. So the upper mantle, it contains most important zone, that is called as asthenosphere. So here there is a asthenosphere. Okay, and the most important here to understand is the large convective current cells in the mantle, they circulate heat, and that is the main cause for the plate tectonic movement. So why these plates are moving? I told you there are three types of movements. One is undergoing other, that is subduction, then they are moving apart and they are colliding each other. So all these processes are happening on the Earth because of the mantle, that is the large convective currents which are there. Okay, which are continuously circulating the heat. You can see the arrow marks, right? The heat is continuously being circulated. Okay, that is in the motion. Okay, so because of this heat which is in continuous motion, that is the main reason for the plate tectonic processes, that is plates are moving because of this circulation of heat in the mantle. So from the velocity depth curve of the P and S wave, it is clear that the rocks of the mantle, they are denser compared to the crust. So compared to crust, whatever rocks are present in the mantle, they are having high density. Okay, so the density increases from 3.3 to 3.3 at the top of the mantle to up to 5.7 at the base of the mountain. So here you can see the mantle, right? So it lies between the crust and the core. Okay, it is between the core and the crust. Okay, so the depth is at 2900 kilometers. So the total depth from the top is 2900 kilometer, right? And it comprises 67% of the earth's mass. So major portion, okay, the crust is less than 1% and mantle is around 67% of the total mass of the earth is of mantle, and it is divided into two, that is upper mantle and lower mantle. So there is a important zone called asthenosphere, over which the upper mantle, it is in the upper mantle, the asthenosphere, that is the main reason for the movements, the plate movements. Okay, so this appears to be semi solid, because how we understood this, that it is semi solid, because the S wave cannot penetrate deeper, right? So here it is made up of, it is semi solid, and the rocks are more denser than the crust, and the large amount of iron and magnesium silicates, that is the composition of mantle. So mantle is mainly made up of ferromagnesium silicates, that is Fe, Mg, Al, Si and O. So that is the composition of mantle. Then the outer solid portion of the earth, okay, which is existing above the asthenosphere, that is called as the lithosphere. Okay, so this is all about the mantle. Okay, it is divided into upper and lower mantle. Its density is high compared to the crust, and the thickness, that is, it is up to 2900 kilometers, and the upper and lower mantle is at 700 kilometer. The boundary between upper and lower mantle is at 700 kilometer. Then the last layer is core. So it is the third major and the inner shell of the earth, okay, which begins from 2900. Okay, so here it is the core from 2900 to 6378 kilometers or 6370 kilometer, that is the center of the earth. Okay, so below the surface it extends up to the center of the earth, that is 6370 or 78 kilometers. So the seismological evidences, they suggest that the core in its upper part is liquid, okay, and here it is solid. The inner core is solid and outer core is liquid. So how we understood this is, we have seen that the P and S waves, right, the S waves stop at this point, they will not move downward again. So that is why we understood that the S wave will not penetrate in the solid. So it is not solid, it is liquid. Okay, it is fluid like, the outer part is fluid like, because it does not transmit the S waves, and because it retards the velocity of P waves also, right? So this core is further subdivided into outer core, okay, and inner core. So the inner core, okay, the boundary between outer and inner core is at 5121 kilometer, around 5100 kilometer, and it extends up to the center, and the total mass of the core, that is 1/3, okay, 1/3 the total mass of the earth. So the total mass of the earth is 1/3 the total mass of the core is 1/3 the total mass of the earth. So the characters of P and S waves, okay, the high density of the earth, that is around 5.5, as a whole, and the composition of the meteorites, they also indicate that the outer core is made up of nickel and iron, okay, and the inner core, that is the solid iron, okay, that is Fe, solid iron, that is inner core, and outer core is made up of nickel and iron, whereas the inner core is only a solid iron ball, you can see. Okay, so the outer core is a liquid, and there is a Gutenberg discontinuity, and the inner core is at 2900 kilometer to 5121 kilometer, and it is made up of alloys of nickel and iron. And the inner core, that is again solid and dense, and it is starting from 5121 kilometers to the center of the earth, that is 6378 kilometers below the surface. So the main element is iron here, the solid iron. It is made up of solid iron, and the total mass of the core is 1/3 the total mass of the earth. And the pressure here is 3.5 million atmosphere, you can imagine, and the temperature is around 6000 degrees centigrade. It is hotter than the surface of the sun. So that this is all about the internal structure of the earth. So it is divided into three: the crust, mantle, and the core.